Anna had always dreamed of this day. The flowers, the music, the moment the church doors opened and every eye turned to her. But dreams have sharp edges. And as she stood trembling at the edge of the aisle, her heart wasn't full of joy. It was full of dread. Because only moments earlier, behind the heavy wooden doors of that same church, Anna had heard something that shattered her world. Her groom, the man she thought she loved, talking about her like she was a prize, a transaction, a conquest. And suddenly, the wedding wasn't a celebration. It was a trap. You're about to hear a story of love twisted into betrayal, a wedding torn apart, and a dark secret buried beneath layers of lies. Stay until the end. Because every smile hides a shadow, and every promise carries a price. But to understand why Anna ran that day, we have to go back. Back to the beginning when she first met David and believed in fairy tales. Anna was 26, a bright young woman with soft hazel eyes and a heart that trusted too easily. She had grown up in a small town where her father ran a modest family business and her mother was known for her kindness. She wasn't rich. She wasn't chasing glamour. She wanted love. Simple, real, lasting love. And when David appeared in her life, he seemed like the answer to every whispered prayer. He was older, confident, successful, with dark blue eyes that seemed to see straight into her and words that could wrap around her like silk. Friends warned her. Men like David, they don't just show up out of nowhere. Be careful. But when you're in love, warnings sound like jealousy. And Anna fell fast, deeper than she ever thought possible. The wedding was a spectacle. The church filled with roses, sunlight pouring through stained glass. Guests whispered about how lucky Anna was, marrying a man so powerful, so polished. Her best friend, Lily, squeezed her hand that morning. "Are you sure about this?" Anna smiled nervously. "Of course I am. He's everything I ever wanted." But even as she said it, a shadow flickered across her heart. Because love, real love, shouldn't come with this much fear. Moments before the ceremony, Anna slipped into a side hallway to calm her nerves. The lace of her gown brushed against the wooden panels as she steadied her breath. And that's when she heard it. David's voice. Low, sharp, not the tender tone he used with her, but something colder. She froze, pressing against the wall, listening. "Once this is done," he said, "her father's company is mine. The money flows, the connections fall into place. She has no idea." Another man chuckled. "And if she finds out?" David's reply was a dagger wrapped in silk. "She won't. Anna's too innocent to ever question me. By the time she realizes, it'll be too late." Anna's knees nearly gave way. Her breath caught in her throat. She wanted to scream, to storm in and demand answers, but fear pinned her in place. And in that moment, the man she thought she loved transformed into a stranger. Her world cracked open, and she knew. Walking down that aisle would be the biggest mistake of her life. Anna had a choice no bride should ever face. Walk toward the altar, and into a life built on lies, or run and risk everything. And as the organ began to play, signaling her entrance, Anna's heart pounded with the weight of her decision. What she did next would change everything. The church doors creaked open. Every guest rose, turning to watch the bride. Anna stood frozen, her veil trembling as her hands clenched tight around her bouquet. Her father whispered, "Anna, it's time." But she couldn't move. Not toward David. Not toward the man whose words still echoed in her skull. She has no idea. By the time she realizes, it'll be too late. Her breath came in shallow bursts. The aisle stretched before her like a tunnel leading straight into darkness. And then she did the unthinkable. Anna dropped her bouquet. Gasps rippled through the church as the flowers scattered across the marble floor. Her heels clattered as she turned. She bolted, past shocked guests, past the heavy oak doors, out into the blinding daylight. "Anna," her mother screamed. "What are you doing?" But Anna didn't stop. She couldn't. Her gown tangled around her legs as she stumbled down the steps, her veil tearing away in the wind. Behind her, David's voice thundered from the church doors. "Anna, come back here, now." It wasn't a plea. It was a command. And in that moment, Anna knew if she stayed, she'd be trapped forever. Guests surged out of the church in confusion. Some chased after her, some whispered in disbelief. But Anna kept running. Through the street, past honking cars, past startled pedestrians. Her heart hammered. Each step carried the weight of survival. Because this wasn't just about cold feet. It was about escaping a man she no longer recognized. And as she ducked into an alley to catch her breath, she heard footsteps. Slow, deliberate, following her. Anna burst into Lily's apartment, slamming the door behind her. Her best friend's eyes widened. "Anna, what happened? Everyone saw you run. The whole town is whispering." Anna's veil was gone, her makeup streaked with tears. She collapsed into Lily's arms. "Lily," she gasped. "I heard him. David, he's after my father's business. He doesn't love me. It was all a lie." Lily pulled back, steady and determined. "Then we're going to find out exactly who David really is." She grabbed her laptop, fingers flying across the keys. Screens filled with photos, articles, fragments of David's carefully curated life. But then, the cracks appeared. Debt filings, failed partnerships, shell corporations tied to his name, and something worse. Buried in an old newspaper archive was a name. Not David's, but a man who looked exactly like him. Anna whispered, trembling. "He's lived under another identity?" Lily clicked deeper. A younger David, another life. And beside him, a smiling woman in a wedding dress? A fiancé. Anna's heart stopped. "Who is she?" Lily scrolled. The woman's name appeared in black letters, but below it another line made Anna's blood run cold. Missing, never found. The article ended abruptly. No resolution, no happy ending. Anna staggered back, whispering, "Oh my God, what if I'm next?" Her phone buzzed violently on the table. The screen lit up. David calling. Anna froze. Then the message appeared. "Come home, Anna. You don't know what you've done." And in that moment, she realized David wasn't just lying. He was dangerous. The hours that followed were a blur of fear. Anna refused to go home. Lily begged her to stay hidden. But danger has a way of finding cracks. At midnight, a shadow fell across Lily's window. Anna's stomach dropped. Slowly, she pulled back the curtain. And there he was. David, standing in the street below, perfectly still, watching. Not shouting, not pleading, just watching. Anna's voice shook. "He found me." Lily grabbed her arm. "Don't move. Don't let him see you." But it was too late. David's eyes lifted, locking on hers. and even from that distance, his smile was sharp enough to cut glass. Moments later, a message buzzed on her phone. "You can't hide from me." Anna's chest tightened. Her breaths came short and sharp. She wanted to scream, to call the police, to beg for help. But when Lily reached for her phone, Anna stopped her. Because in her gut, she knew if David had gotten away with this before, he wouldn't stop now. And as the night stretched on, the question loomed like a storm cloud. How many secrets had David buried? And how far would he go to keep them hidden? By morning, Anna was exhausted. She hadn't slept, haunted by the memory of David's shadow beneath Lily's window. But David hadn't come back, or so she thought. When she finally stepped outside for air, her blood ran cold. A black car idled across the street, tinted windows, engine humming, waiting. She froze, her hands trembling. "Lily," she whispered. "He's watching me." Lily glanced through the blinds. "We have to move, now." But as they turned to pack, the apartment door rattled violently. Bang, bang, bang. A voice calm and sharp cut through the wood. "Anna, open the door. We need to talk." Anna's chest constricted. She recognized it instantly. David. She shook her head furiously, whispered, No, he can't be here." But the pounding grew louder, stronger. The doorframe shook as David's voice rose, laced with fury. "Anna, don't make this worse than it has to be. You belong with me." Lily grabbed her hand, pulling her toward the back exit. But Anna's mind spun with dread, because every word he shouted wasn't a plea. It was a command. And in his voice, she finally heard the truth. This wasn't love. It was possession. And as Anna and Lily fled into the night, one thing became terrifyingly clear. David wasn't going to let her go. Not now. Not ever. Hours later, Anna sat trembling in Lily's car as they sped toward the outskirts of town. The city lights faded, swallowed by endless highway. Her phone buzzed again. Another message from David. "I forgive you, Anna, but you can't run from me." Her throat tightened. Forgive her? For what? Lily's jaw clenched as she drove. "We need answers. All of them. No more guessing." She slammed the car into a gas station lot and pulled out her laptop again. Scrolling, searching, digging deeper. And then she found it. A police report buried in archives. The name of the woman in the photo with David, his old fiancée. And beside it, a chilling word. Missing. Anna leaned closer, her voice barely a whisper. What happened to her? The report was vague. Last seen with David. Vanished days before their wedding. No witnesses, no leads. But one detail stood out. She too had come from a wealthy family. Anna's stomach twisted. 2 brides, 2 inheritances, 2 disappearances. And she realized with bone-deep horror, she wasn't David's first. She was his next. Anna clutched the laptop, her knuckles white. If David had silenced one woman before, what would stop him from doing it again? And worse, how many others were there, hidden in the shadows of his perfect facade? And somewhere deep inside, Anna asked herself the question she was most afraid to answer. Was David a killer? Anna and Lily drove in silence, the weight of truth pressing down on them. But as dawn broke, their relief was short-lived. Because in the rearview mirror, headlights appeared. 1 car, then another, following them. Lily pressed the gas, but the cars matched their speed. Anna's pulse skyrocketed. It's him. It has to be him. And then her phone buzzed. A new message. Pull over. You can't run forever. Her hands shook violently. Lily, he knows where we are. The cars grew closer, boxing them in on the highway. Lily swerved sharply, heart pounding. He's hurting us. He's trying to corner us. Anna's chest constricted as panic overtook her, because this wasn't just David anymore. It was organized, planned, and it meant one terrifying thing. David wasn't working alone. This was bigger, much bigger. Lily made a desperate turn, swerving off the highway and into a deserted road lined with trees. The cars slowed, hung back, watching. Anna pressed her forehead against the window, tears streaking her cheeks. They weren't free. They were being toyed with, led into a trap. And as the engine sputtered and the gas tank neared empty, Anna knew with chilling certainty. They couldn't run forever. Sooner or later, David would catch them. And when he did, she wasn't sure she'd survive. By dawn, the forest road was silent. Lily killed the engine, both women sitting in suffocating stillness. Anna's hands shook as she whispered, "We can't keep running. We need proof. Something that exposes him." Lily nodded, pulling out her laptop one last time. She dug deeper, through hidden files, cached pages, private records buried on the dark web. And then she found it. Photographs, grainy surveillance shots of women. Different women, each one with David, smiling, holding hands, wearing rings. But none of them appeared again. No marriage certificates, no social media updates, no follow-ups, just vanished. Anna's stomach lurched as she scrolled faster. Her own face appeared among them. A recent shot, taken when she wasn't looking. "Oh my God," she whispered. "He's been tracking me, planning me." And then the final photo froze her blood. The missing bride, standing in a white dress, beside David. Her smile wide, but her eyes terrified. Anna's vision blurred with tears. There it was. Proof. David wasn't just a liar. He wasn't just dangerous. He was a predator, and she was his next victim. But proof comes with a price. Because someone else wanted to keep it buried. And as the laptop flickered, a new message appeared across the screen. "Stop digging, or you'll disappear too." They didn't see him arrive. One moment, the clearing was empty. The next, David was there, standing between the trees. His suit was gone, his polished mask stripped away, his eyes cold and wild, locked on Anna. "You shouldn't have run," he said, voice low and trembling with rage. Anna stumbled back, clutching the laptop. "Who are you, David? What happened to her? To the others?" His lips curled into something between a smile and a snarl. "They were weak," he said. "They thought they could leave. They were wrong." Lily stepped forward, her voice shaking. "We know everything. The police will know too." David laughed. Not warm, not charming, but sharp and hollow. "Police? Do you really think I haven't been ahead of them all this time? Money buys silence. Power buries the truth. And Anna, you were supposed to be the perfect cover." His voice softened, chillingly tender. "But you ruined it, and now I have to fix it." He stepped closer, every move deliberate, like a predator closing in on prey. Anna's heart slammed against her ribs. This was it. No more lies, no more masks. The man she thought she loved was gone. All that remained was the monster beneath. The world seemed to freeze as David reached for her. Anna's mind raced. Every memory, every red flag, every whispered warning from Lily, all of it crashed into one truth. She couldn't run anymore. She had to fight. With trembling hands, she clutched the laptop, the evidence of his crimes. "This ends now, David," she whispered. His eyes narrowed, a flicker of rage breaking through. "You won't make it out alive." But before he could strike, flashing lights cut through the trees. Sirens, shouts, police. David spun, fury twisting across his face. "No, this isn't over." He lunged toward Anna, but Lily shoved between them. Officers surged forward, tackling him to the ground. His screams echoed through the clearing as handcuffs snapped shut. "Anna," he roared, "you'll always be mine." But for the first time, Anna didn't flinch. She stood tall, clutching the laptop, tears streaking her face. And as David was dragged away, thrashing like a wild animal, she whispered to herself, "No, David, I was never yours." But even as the sirens faded, Anna knew the scars wouldn't. Because the question still remained. How many more secrets had David buried? And what if he wasn't the only one? The forest cleared slowly, flashing lights fading into silence. David was gone. The forest cleared slowly, flashing lights fading into silence. David was gone, swallowed by the system, dragged away in chains. But freedom didn't feel like triumph. It felt hollow. Anna sat on the back of an ambulance, still in the torn remains of her wedding dress. Strangers whispered, paramedics hovered, but all she could hear was David's voice echoing in her head. "You'll always be mine." Lily sat beside her, gently squeezing her hand. "It's over, Anna. You're safe now." But Anna shook her head. Tears slid down her face. "He's not just one man, Lily. He's a shadow, a mask anyone can wear. How do you ever trust again?" Her voice cracked, the question hanging heavy in the night air. The truth was, she didn't know. Because safety wasn't simple anymore. And love had been poisoned. In the weeks that followed, Anna disappeared from the public eye. Her wedding photos never surfaced. Her story never made headlines. The police promised justice, but their words felt thin. What lingered was not relief. It was silence. And in that silence, Anna rebuilt, piece by fragile piece. Not as the bride who ran, but as the woman who survived. 1 month later, Anna walked barefoot along a quiet beach. The sunrise painted the horizon in soft pastels. She carried her shoes in one hand, her veil in the other, the last fragments of the life she left behind. The sea breeze kissed her skin, cool and sharp, reminding her that she was alive. Alive, but changed. Because survival comes with scars, invisible but deep. She whispered to herself, "I was never his. I never will be." Anna threw the veil and the shoes into the sea. And she watched as the sea carried them away. She lifted her eyes to the horizon. For the first time in weeks, she let herself breathe. And maybe, just maybe, she began to believe in tomorrow. But as the waves rolled in, pulling the sand away from beneath her feet, one truth remained clear. Freedom is never free, and the past always leaves shadows. This was Anna's story, a story of love turned to lies, of promises turned to poison, and of a bride who ran to save her life.